rucksacking this morning again, Tom, as I was rucking. Shout out to Ruck Day, Suck Day, second
Oh
Saturday in a
man.
row. I ain't bragging, but I'm happy. It was an accomplishment. Consistency is the key. So me and my daughter Zaria did Ruck Day, Suck Day
You went
today.
rucking. He made you ruck.
Nah, I ain't make her. She said she wanted to go. Yeah,
Your calves hurt.
we
Your
put in
legs.
about 3 miles. Yes, ma'am. I'm recording. What you got for me? Let me have him over here where I can see him at. Thank you. She wants to go jump on the trampoline, but I have to keep up with her glasses. I don't have to, but it's cool. Um, anyhow, my daughter asked me, was I a bad kid when I was younger? And I was honest with her. I'm very honest with my kids. How can I be talking about trust and honesty and I don't want to do that? It's a difficult journey sometimes, but if you expect to grow, it's what you must do in life. You have to be honest with yourself and you have to trust that your honesty will help you move forward. So when it comes to my children, I use that same approach. I'm always honest and I trust that they're going to make the right decision for themselves based off my honesty and based on the way we talk. Now, my daughter asked me, was I a bad kid when I was little? And I told her, yeah. And then I thought about it. I said, no, I wasn't a bad kid if you're asking me, depending on who you're asking. Some people may have thought that I was bad, but what I really was a hurt kid. And she asked me, what was you hurt from? And I said, well, I was hurt from my mother and father divorcing just like me and mommy did. And I didn't get to see my mom much. And it bothered me. So I acted out. And to her, it was it seemed like she didn't understand because she doesn't really know that life. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I had to be honest with her and tell her that not that I was trying to hide anything, but to say just because someone else tells you you're a certain way, just because someone else told me I was bad, doesn't necessarily mean that you the person are bad. Maybe the act that you did, the thought that you had, maybe that could have been considered bad, but that doesn't make you a bad person. So I felt like the best thing for me to do was to be honest with her and trust her with this truth and not look at her as a kid like she couldn't understand. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Now, by me continuing to be honest with my daughter and tell her about my past, it's allowing her to trust me more, and she has more serious conversations with me. She comes talk to me about things that goes on in school. She come talks to me about things that she's experiencing and feeling in life. She asks me questions about my life and my childhood. She trusts me to open up. She told me about some little boy in her class, and I'm not gonna say his name, calling her a bitch and a hoe and all these types of things. Now my daughter's she was in the fourth grade at this time. But how? How did she be so comfortable to tell me these stories? Yeah, I'm in the house, but kids don't always tell their parents what's going on in the house. But how does she get so comfortable? Because I've always been honest with her since I've been back. I've shared my deep, dark, dirty secrets, or so I thought. I shared those things that I thought held me back, that I couldn't grow from. I showed her that I made mistakes, and just because I was older as a human being doesn't mean that I'm not still a human being. Doesn't mean she doesn't deserve the decency and respect of my honesty. So she can learn to trust me and trust me at my word. By me being honest with my daughter, hear me out. By me being honest with my daughter, allow her to build a trust in me to know that she could be honest with me. Not every time she says something wrong or does something wrong is going to be a problem. Now I told her, just because somebody else calls you bad don't make you bad. It doesn't make you bad, but you have to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, did the decision you make at the time, was that bad? Could that have been a bad decision? Yeah, it could have. You could have shared your honest emotions and your opinion and what you feel if you found someone that you trust. But trust is trust is a very sensitive thing, and it's a two-way street. In order for me to begin to trust my wife, she had to begin to trust me in some areas. In order for my daughter begin to trust me, I had to trust her in some areas. I had to be honest with her in some areas. In order for you to really move forward in life, in order for you to really grow, in order for you to really expand, in order for you to really lay a nice foundation for your family, you're going to have to become very honest with yourself. You're going to have to trust God at his word. You're going to have to trust Buddha at his word, Allah, whatever your spiritual deity is or not. You're going to have to trust something or someone at his word. And then you're going to have to act on that by being honest with yourself and what you want and what you're willing to work for. It's really not life. This thing called life is really not as complicated as we allow people to make it for ourselves. It's really not that complicated. If you simply walk out of your house, if you look around your house at the TV, the computer, the internet, all those things came about because somebody trusted a thought process that they had. Somebody trusted that the computer and the iPhone can work. Somebody was honest with the world when they said, I'm going to create a phone where you can look into a camera and talk to someone else on the other side. And somebody told that person, I don't believe you. It won't work. I don't trust you. They didn't believe it until it happened. Trust is a very, 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 very fine thing. It's a firm belief. It's a truth. It's a strength. What do you have strength in? You know, when I was in the military, you had those leaders who led by the book. If you had an assignment you needed to get done, then you went to them because you knew they would give you the right information. But that same leader, you didn't go to when you was in the field, when you was running an op, because you didn't trust that he knew the job well. Tom Hanks, he probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm sitting here laughing. I'm thinking the back of my head.
Because it's just like when you at work, when you your parents. If you don't trust that the advice is well, if you don't trust that the information that someone is giving you, you're not gonna be honest with. You're not gonna be honest with them with what you really feel.
I mean, in all reality, life is not by the book.
No. There is no book of life. I mean, some even say the Bible is the book of life, and maybe that's the one thing, but that depends on the person reading it. Every single day, every second of the day, you have to trust that the day is going to be okay. Like, and the Bible even says, and I have to look up the scripture, babe. If you're watching, can you look up the scripture? Well, I'll grab my Bible. The count it all joy scripture. You know, it says, I believe it's Paul who says, count it all joy, brother, when we come against trials or hard times. But anyhow, if you don't trust that the day is going to get better, you have to be honest with yourself with where you at. But a lot of people don't want to do that. We don't want to be honest with our boss. We don't want to be honest with our significant other. And you expect to build a trusting and loving relationship. I don't see how that's possible. I really don't see how that's possible. Like, I tell God I want to be one of the greatest inspirational speakers in the world, and I want to use this as a platform to provide for my family. But I had a lady prophesied to me the other day. And I've had plenty of people prophesy to me and tell me that God is going to...
Like a tarot card reader?
No, not like a tarot card reader. Like
Miss
maybe
Cleo?
like no, not Miss Cleo, man. You know, like when you go to church, the preacher, they talk about a prophet. Someone that gives you a message. I see God doing something great in your life. They have a prophetic spirit, you know. And sometimes when you hear that, you don't listen to everybody that says that. Usually for me, and I don't know how everybody else confirms or deny if this person who said they're a prophet and this message is from God. I don't know how your spirit confirm or deny that. But for me and for my spirit, T, what it is if you say something that confirms what God has already told me or something that someone else has said, then it must be accurate for me. But if it's something from far left field, sometimes I may not believe it, especially if it doesn't warm my spirit in no way. Now, if I feel something, I'll acknowledge it, I'll pray about it. But if I don't, then I'm going to move on. You know what I'm saying? So, count it all joy, James 1:2-3. Thanks, love. I knew it was somewhere in there. That probably didn't sound good. Like, yeah, it's somewhere in there. No, not like that. But I knew it was in there. I just don't remember it all the time. But she prophesied over me, and she told me that God was going to use me, but that God was going to use me real incognito. Real low-key. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, Lord, I see me as one of the most influential speakers, inspirers, motivational people. I don't know, Ethan, vessel to be used by God. Like, I see me being financially prosperous from this as well, but this is not the only reason I do it. So when she told me it was going to be incognito. That to me meant low key. A lot of people not gonna know you, but you're gonna affect a lot of people's life. And to be honest with you, I'm like, okay, that sounds good, but that don't sound profitable. How am I supposed to trust this one when I need to, financially take care of myself, right? Like, how am I supposed to trust that? But then it hit me. When I'm out and I'm driving, I'm doing Uber and I'm doing Lyft and I'm talking to people, and people's lives are being changed by the conversations that we have because they say so. I hand them inspiration cards. They instantly follow me on social media and sometimes make comments, and I go back and I read comments from Uber and Lyft about how people's life was changed by the ride that they had, and it hit me like, what she's saying to me is accurate. What she's saying to me is true. It's honest. I can trust this word from God. Now, I just have to trust God at his word and keep digging into my gift and know that my gift will make room for me. If I don't trust in God, and I'm not honest with myself about the work that I need to put in to be that caliber speaker that God wants to use and wants to bless, if I'm not honest with myself, then trust and believe I won't get there. But then I'll probably attempt to blame God. We have a tendency to attempt to blame someone else when we don't get to the things that we say we want because we don't trust it'll happen. How can you be mad at someone else when you don't trust it's going to happen for yourself? If you're really being honest with yourself, like when I'm really being honest with myself, and that's all we talking about, man. Share this video with somebody out there. We talking honesty. We talking trust. Hey, how you doing, Miss Jones Spicer? She gave me a thumbs up. I think she goes to my church. We're talking honesty and trust. And if you want to move forward, and if you want to move forward in any relationship, if you want to move forward in a relationship with God, if you want to move forward in a relationship with your wife, if you want to move forward in a relationship with your children, you're going to have to learn how to be honest with them and trust that they're going to continue to support you for who you are. That's just what it is. I just received my associate's degree in the mail the other day.
What?
Yeah, I just got my associate's degree in the mail the other day. That was pretty exciting. To be honest, that was pretty exciting, especially what my journey was in school. But
a little piece of paper says, "Hey, you did it."
Yeah, and that's all that. It don't mean a whole bunch to me. What it meant to me, to be honest with you, what it meant to me was that I could do it. I would always tell my wife I could do anything I put my mind to if I really want to get it done. But sometimes, hear me out, here we go. Sometimes I don't know if I actually trusted that was true. I don't know if I actually trusted myself to get it done. I don't know if I trusted myself to get the associate's degree done. But to be honest with you, I believed I could. Now that the process is over, when the process ended, now that the degree has came in the mail, my mindset was, maybe I should go do some more. Maybe I could do some more. Because it's expanded my mind. And honestly, I don't even know why I want to do more. I just believe I can. And that's what it is for me in life. Like, why do you want to do more? I just believe I can. I believe I'm designed to grow. If I'm to be honest with myself, I'm not here to be stagnant. I'm not here to be made comfortable. I'm here to be stretched. I'm here to be pulled. I'm here to give life and enjoy life. What are you here for? Do you trust that God created you for a reason? Do you trust that there's a purpose for the pain that you went through in life? Do you trust that the moment that you in right now is the exact moment that you're supposed to be? And if you honestly sit back and be quiet, you'll learn something from this moment. But you got to trust this process. You got to be honest with yourself. My wife is always, I make her think of 3 times, been honest with me. I mean, has probably where I felt like she wasn't honest with me. Maybe 3 times in 24, 25 years. I've never had anybody that solid in my life besides probably my sister. For me, no disrespect to anybody else. But when you find someone you trust, God, Buddha, Allah, your wife, your brother, your best friend, when you find somebody you trust, when you allow yourself to be honest with somebody you trust, when you allow yourself to be free, that's when life changed. That's when you grow. Life don't grow in comfort. I didn't get here sitting on this camera. I didn't get here talking about this relationship with my wife, talking about how I was a deadbeat father and a husband. I didn't get here by not being honest. I didn't get here by that. I didn't get through the military by not trusting the process. You got to trust yourself. And a lot of us don't trust ourselves anymore because we believe what somebody else tell us about our life. You don't trust yourself to make decisions for yourself? Really? How could you not trust yourself to make decisions for yourself? How could you, of all people who know you better than anyone else, how could you, of all people, not sit down and be honest with yourself, Ethan, when you slacking off? It's what I ask myself. How can you say you want a different life? How can you say you want a better life for your children when you know honestly you're not even putting the work in? How can you say that? How can I trust you to do something that you said you want, but you really haven't done anything? I don't know if that made sense, but I'm just saying. Trust and honesty, man, it's foundation. It's building blocks for life with honesty. I mean, with love. Seriously, you can't lie to God. We attempt to lie to God. I used to get drunk. You ever been so drunk you be talking to God and you say, if you can help me through this, I won't do it again? You know what that drinking is like to me? But then tomorrow, the next day, you back drinking again because you feeling good.
Yep. Your homeboys come by. Come on, let's go get a drink. Yeah, we with the boys. We good.
Because you feeling good. You know, if you had to be honest with yourself, if you really had to be honest with yourself, you would feel a lot better if you stayed hungover and went through that process and dealt with those emotions. Because if you just get saved and rescued all the time, that's not helping you grow. Well, let me get back on topic with this trust and honesty and talking about my wife. And when I did get to the point where I would be honest with my wife, when I would share with my wife about bills or how I felt emotionally as a man, or when I would apologize to my wife about decisions that I made, when I would sit down, I just talk to my wife about what I feel when I'm honest. Like, it freed me up in a way that I had never really experienced before. It's a wonderful feeling if you go from a person that lied a lot or bent the truth, told a white lie, and wondering how to remember it or what to do to remember it. Like, I was that guy. I was that dude that told a lot of lies and you had to figure out how to remember that lie. You know, I was that dude. But when I started being honest with my wife and I realized she would still accept me for who I was and what it was that much easier to be the guy that I am now. When I started to love myself for who I was and what I stood for and not worry about what anybody else thought, it was that much easier to be the guy, the man that I am now. When I started to trust myself, when I started to believe in myself, when I started to be honest with myself, it was that much easier to be the man that I am now. It's something amazing, man. When you think about guys like Steve Jobs, who people told him the iPhone wouldn't work. You know, when you think about guys like Kanye West, when he talks about how he was attempting to be signed to Rockefeller and they told him no, he couldn't rap. He trusted his skills and he just kept telling himself, he kept being real with himself. Okay, some things I can get better at, but some things I'm good at and I trust what I have and I keep going. Most of us don't trust what we have or what we stand for because we don't know if we really believe what we stand for or what we have. We don't trust that process. What's going on, Wenzel? Man, this expression sessions with Mr. P.I.E.N. Express yourself. Tell me how you feel about trust and honesty. What's important to you? How does it affect you? And are you really being honest with yourself? Are you really being honest with yourself? And if you had to count on you, can you count on you? Do you trust you to go after what you say you want in life? Do you trust you to put that hard work in? Do you trust you to lay the foundation for your children? You're not waiting on God. God waiting on you. You're not waiting on God at all. God waiting on you. I was reading in my Bible earlier in Proverbs 16:9, and me and my wife was talking about this the other day, and they said a man plans his ways, but God orders his steps. Even in your relationship with God, you have to plan for something. You have to trust you have to trust that your plan gonna work, and then God gonna order your steps. It's a simple process, man. Be honest with who you are. Be honest with where you're going in life. Give somebody a fair chance to be with you. There's no need to lie to anybody. If they want to be with you, they gonna be with you.
If they really mean it.
If they really mean it. If they want to be around you, they gonna be around you. My wife knows everything about me.
Mm-hmm.
And she still loves me for who I am. She's never trying to change me. But when you start being honest with who you are, when you start being honest with what you feel, this goes for my fellas. If you know you're a dude, I got a homeboy, and we talk about this all the time, man. And he's when I first met him, he got a girl that he's solid with, and he had girls on the side. But his girl was okay with that. And I didn't understand it at first because it wasn't my lifestyle. But his girl was okay with that. And the reason she was okay with that, and he told me, he was honest with her when he first met her about his lifestyle and what he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? And she was okay with that for a period of time. But now as they move further along in the relationship, he's getting to the point where he don't want to do it no more. And he was honest about that. You know, and it makes the relationship healthy. A lot of us guys, or a lot of y'all guys out there, we think that we get with a chick, we get with a girl, and the best way to make her want you is to lie to her. It ain't no point. If you know you're not really being no good and you just trying to hook up, then be honest about the situation. But don't get mad when it don't play out for you.
Building false foundations?
Absolutely. And you want somebody to trust you, but you building a false foundation. What do they say? The man that builds his house on the sand and the man that builds his house on the rock, like, you got to put it on a solid foundation. And if your solid foundation don't have no trust, no honesty, no joy, no peace, no love, it's not a solid foundation.
No, be sitting there fighting, hating each other, hate going home.
Yeah.
Life sucks.
Absolutely. But here, when you be honest with yourself, when you take responsibility for your life, when you understand that the only way your life changes is when you begin to change it, then that's when it's better for you. You don't trust yourself. I don't trust myself sometimes enough. I don't trust myself sometimes enough when I'm attempting to edit videos on this iPhone, because I worry about, what if I mess up the video? What if I lose it? Well, how do you know if you never do it? Honestly, I don't know how to do it, but how will I learn if you never do it? How will you learn to move forward in life and be honest if you never do it? You got to trust that the situation is going to be okay. You got to trust that the situation going to be okay. What's going on, Quiroga? You remember Quiroga and Wenzel?
Yeah, old Roger, what's up, Q?
Yeah. You remember Wenzel? He was
what?
He was on a deployment with us in 2009, 2010,
right,
but you
right.
didn't go, right?
Nah, that's the white one, right?
No, Wenzel's Hispanic, man.
Yeah, I don't remember. I got to see him.
Wenzel
Just like we were
Bucket.
talking about the other day, we got to see him by their face. What's up, man?
He's a cool guy.
Hey, Q.
Again, man, you know, when I became to be real honest with myself, and when I trusted God at his word, that if I was honest with him, if I was honest with myself, that I would truly move forward in life, that life would change for me. And it did. You know what I'm saying? I'm quiet because I'm listening to this E40 song. I heard him say something about God, and I wanted to get with the message.
Here, let me bring it back. Let me turn it back.
I wanted to get the message real quick because it looked like it was going along with something I was saying.
I've been searching for you like a search engine. It really don't make no sense how bad you are. When God created you, he made a star.
Okay. When God created you, he made a star. Ooh, that's good. When God created you, he made a star because you was created in his image. Me and my wife were talking, and I know I was talking about honesty, and I'm going to get back to it, but me and my wife was talking about me finding my story time as, and I'm always like, man, what's my one story? What's my one story that I want to tell, you know, to really launch my motivational speaking career? What's my one story? And my wife was like, babe, you you don't have one story. Like, no offense to Eric Thomas, and I know how much you like Eric Thomas, babe, and how much you like Les Brown, but you don't have one story to tell. You got many stories from a military standpoint, from a child who parents separated, to a father who left their children, to someone who was divorced, who got, like, you have many stories. And I'm like, wow, that's true. That's being honest with me. And I trust my wife to let me know, to give me those reminders about those moments and those times. And that's another thing great about when you have somebody solid in your life, when you have a partner, when you have a friend, a best friend that you love, that you building with. When you have someone that you trust in your life, you know they're only going to give you information that'll help you grow. They only going to give you information that'll help you grow. You know what I'm saying? And my wife, that's what she is for me. She understands that I'm looking to grow and I'm looking to move forward. But she also understands that I have to trust the process that God has for me. Because if I'm so busy worrying about getting my story because of someone else's story, and I felt honestly like that's what the crowd want to hear, I can't hear what God's saying. And my wife, she keeps me in line. She keeps me solid. Why? Because I trust her and I'm honest with her, and she know what I want, what I feel, what I need. She knows what I want. You have to know what you want. And the only way you find out what you want is by trusting God, trusting yourself, trusting your Buddha, trusting your Allah, by being honest in that moment. You have to. That's in any moment in your life. When you go to church on Sundays, I don't care how much you go to church and you scream and shout and you praising because the pastor is giving a good word and the music sound good. But if you don't leave the church different, or if you don't walk in the door different, if you don't go home and praise God that same way without the pastor being there, nothing is changing for us. That's just being real with myself. The pastor don't build my relationship with God, I do. My trust don't get strong in God by what the pastor say. It gets strong by what I say. Your trust in your significant other don't get strong by what your mother say or your father say. It gets strong by what they say and what they do. You got to learn to trust your own mind. You got to learn to trust your own judgment. You got to learn to be honest with God. You got to be willing to give God a plan, allow him to control your steps and order your steps and take you to those things that you say you want. You got to be willing to promote yourself. You got to be willing to sell yourself. You got to be willing to push yourself. You have to be willing to be honest with yourself. You got to activate your greatness. You have to be willing to be honest with yourself. It's going to hurt. It hurt me to tell myself that I was a bad father. It hurt me to tell myself that I walked out on my wife and I pretty much left her with nothing. It hurt me. It really did. But as I continue to be honest with myself and I continue to be honest with other people and I continue to trust God at his word didn't let me down. My life changed. I'm with my wife and I put a smile on my wife's face now. I don't make her happy. I add to her happiness. Did you catch me?
That's a big one right there. I don't think they got that one.
I don't make my wife happy. I add to her happiness because she was happy without me. But now I'm bringing value to her life. I'm adding just as she add value and happiness to my life. But how did I get there? How did I get there? I had a real conversation with myself. I was honest with myself. I was honest with God about what I felt, what I needed, what I wanted. And I trusted that it could change if I just kept speaking positive, if I kept looking for the positive in every negative. I believed if it could change if I kept telling God what I wanted, if I kept telling him how I feel. If I continued to be honest with where I was at in life, I kept believing it can change. We're afraid to have a relationship with an emotion of anger. We're afraid to have a quick relationship with an emotion of doubt. I ain't saying live in it. I'm saying absorb it, deal with it, and push it out. Be honest with yourself when you mad about something. Trust that you can work through that emotion on your own. Trust that you can work through that emotion with someone else. That's what the problem is. We don't trust ourselves when we get in certain emotions, so we don't know how to be honest when we mad. Because you always looking about sparing someone's feelings and you're not sparing your own feelings. I'm not saying be nasty to nobody. I'm not saying be disrespectful to nobody. I'm saying be honest with everybody, and definitely start being honest with yourself if you want to live a better version of your life. Can't nobody get that to you.
You got to get it yourself.
I'm just talking about honesty and I'm talking about trust. Every little story. Honesty and trust. When I was in Iraq, I got some of my fellow soldiers on here. When we was in Iraq, it was a trust thing. You trusted that the dude up on top in the turret with the gun, you trusted that he was watching out for IEDs. You trusted that he was going to protect you if somebody or something came out of nowhere. He was honest with what he seen. We talked about everything in the truck, even if it looked stupid. Why? Because we had to build that relationship. And it's the same thing in everyday life. You have to honestly talk about what's going on at work with your spouse. You have to honestly let them know how you feel. You have to honestly talk to your kids about what's going on with their grades in school. Use your own stories about how you had some struggles in school and let them know that it's real. I talk to my sons and my daughters about that. I'm honest with them. And they trust their heart. They trust me with their heart, their emotions. This thing is deep. When somebody trusts you, they'll be honest with you. When you trust yourself, when you love yourself, you'll be honest with yourself if you want the best for you. That's what's killer in life. We all are on the same platform. All on the same platform.
Somebody once told me we all put our clothes on one leg at a time.
Hey, we do. I don't know nobody that stand up and jump straight up in the air and come straight down in their pants.
What's that?
Or they skirt or anything else.
The movie, was it Bruce Almighty or the one with Jim Carrey where he gets the powers
of God? It might have been Bruce Almighty.
He gets up in the morning, he's like, man, let's get dressed. He snaps his fingers and then his clothes jump out the closet, walk over there to him. He's like, let me try this one.
Right.
He just dresses himself up.
Yeah, man. If that happened, we would all be great. I mean, to be honest with ourselves, sometimes too much technology and moving forward is hurting us. It's hurting us. We allow it to cripple us, but I'm just talking truth and honesty. Please share this video, man. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank you for commenting. I thank you for thumbs up. I thank you for thumbs down, man. Express yourself. Tell me what you feel and what's important to you and when it comes to honesty and trust. What helped you get through some issues where you didn't trust people? I had a point in time where I didn't trust the Army, Thomas. Real talk, true spit.
Yeah.
I got Army people on here. I didn't trust the Army. And it's supposed to be our nation, our government. They're supposed to look out for you, right? Man, when I say I left the Army in 99, why? Because I didn't trust the Army. The Army wasn't honest with me. It's true. Recruiters will lie to you.
Yeah.
They will lie to you just like you'll lie to recruiters to get in, though. So
I ain't never had no broken bone in my body ever.
I'm saying, though, everybody lying to each other, and we running in circles. But that's why I didn't trust the military. You know what I'm saying? But I had to work through that. I had to get comfortable with myself to say that I quit in 99. I had to be honest with myself to help someone else move forward, because there's somebody out there right now. It's a young man or a young woman or it's a soldier out there who's going through what I went through. You know what I'm saying? And they're afraid to be honest with themselves because they don't trust that people going to care for them or love them anymore. Let me tell you something, man. When I became honest with myself and honest with the other people, it allowed other people to be free. Because they can't believe that you made it through. Then they was able to trust me with some of the stuff they said. I'm just being real. He over here having a good time.
Having a blast.
Yeah. We just talking trust and honesty,
to you
man.
And jamming.
We just talking trust and honesty over here, man. I don't have it all together. I would be lying to say I do. But what I do have is the energy and the drive to keep going after it. You do not have to have it all together when you start, but you have to start if you want to get anywhere near getting it together. You have to trust yourself that you can make it through any struggle. What? What? I don't know what.
It'll come to you here in a minute.
He playing some song I'm supposed to get because he always try to tune in to me. I know the beat, but I don't know this song just yet.
It'll come. I know Q, if you still watching, you know. Good old Toto.
Toto?
T-O-T-O.
I don't know Toto besides Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. I don't know Toto. I'm just being honest. I'm not following right now. I think I've heard this song before.
Oh, you have.
But Toto, I think Dorothy, and unless I'm saying to myself, is he saying Tosto from the unit? But you said Toto. Is this a group or what? Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a group?
Yeah, it's a group.
Oh,
it'll kick in here.
Yeah, I think it's like it got something like little chorus or beat line. I feel the rain or something. I don't know what this is, man. I'm just gonna be. Oh, hold on, let me tell you.
Here it is, right here.
I bless the rains down in Africa.
Yeah, but Toto, man, that was his song that we was playing up during the entire move, man. Going to Africa.
Who is Toto though?
He's the one that wrote it. Like, I don't know, like he's from what, the 1980s.
Oh, so
this is way.
So this is your Mob song.
It was one because it just so happened to come on the radio as we all, in El Paso doing our thing.
Okay, see, look, man, I'm gonna be honest right now. I had no idea what he was talking about because it was a backstory to that he didn't give me.
Right. But see,
I wasn't on that. I wasn't on that deployment. That's why I don't get it. And he seen Q. Drew me in, and he just is like, yeah, you'll get it.
But all y'all went to Africa.
I didn't know Africa. I went to, you know what? If I went to Egypt, but I wasn't there for this song. Anyways, man. Yeah, man. Somebody come get this, man. You understand what I'm saying? Show up to blow up. Nah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I know what that's like, man. You had those songs from deployments, You had those moments, you think back to those moments of honesty when you really told somebody something secretive, something deep, or you told yourself, man. I remember when I finally told myself that it wasn't my mother's fault that I was no good to women. That was my own fault. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see that moment. When I was honest with myself about that moment, it hurt. But then I believed that I could move forward. And then I've just been moving forward ever since then. It helped me to build a better relationship with my mother, my wife, my daughters. It's a process for things that happen in your life, man. Things that happen in your life is not meant to just tear you down or destroy you. That's not why God designed your life.
That's not why we're here.
That's not why we're here. You have to find a way to see the joy and the happiness in everything that happens in your life. And you get that by being honest with yourself. When I go on my walks in the morning, I take my phone out to record every now and again. But a lot of times, man, I'm quiet. I'm staring off in nature. I'm listening to birds chirping because honestly, it's relaxing. It's peaceful. It's peaceful. You have to find that peaceful time in your life. And I'm telling you, as sure as my name is Ethan Smith, the more honest you are with yourself, the more you trust yourself to follow the plan that's been laid out for your life, the plan that you put out, the more you trust God to order your steps. The more you trust him with the plan that you have for your life by being honest, the more your life begins to change. It's really that simple. All this stuff you get to manifest into life through trust, honesty, love, support. I've been getting it. Ghost, Tom has his dog. Ghost, she forced me to understand that you get more done with love than you do with force. Anything successful happens with love, not force. And in order to have something successful, you have to have trust. You have to have honesty. And I learned that through a dog. Like, I had to trust this dog to follow my commands. You know what I'm saying? I will walk out the house and tell her, go, sit down. I'm leaving. I'm going to the garage. I'll be back in 5 minutes. And like, look at her in her face, because I knew if not, she would cry. She would go crazy. I ain't want her to tear up the house or anything. So I would be honest with her. I'm like, yo, I know you understand. And the more I would talk to her like that, the more I would begin to trust her. The more I would let her off the leash, the more she would come back and trust me more. The more the house wouldn't be tore up, the more it wouldn't be no poop in the house. Like, this works with anybody. Trust and honesty works with anybody. This is a two-way street. This is not a one-sided love affair. This works with everything and everybody. You have to learn how to trust yourself first, though. You have to learn how to be honest with yourself first. If you think you're going to get a best version of you to anyone or anything. Real talk. I had to give myself my best version of me. And every day I'm still looking and growing and seeing what do you have for me next, God? What am I supposed to do? Because honestly, I don't know. I have a plan that I've given you, but you setting the steps, you setting the pace, and it don't always feel good, but I'm trusting you. Hey. Taking control.
This is by Jelly Roll.
I like it. What do I want you to know? What do I want you to get? Why am I thanking you for spending your time with me? I need you to understand, man. Your life, this thing that you have, this energy that you possess, is yours. You get to do something with it. You get to mold it. You get to sculpt it. You get to mold it. You get to sculpt it and mold it. You get to plan it. You get to help be part of the transformation of it. You get to do all of those things if you just be honest with who you are and what you want. And if you trust that the power that's outside of you, the word says he who lives in me is greater than he who lives in the world. So if you trust that the energy that lives inside of you, whatever you choose to call that energy, that's your determination. I'm not here to judge that. But if you trust that that energy inside of you can do anything that you put your mind to, if you honest with that energy inside of you, if you think that the energy inside of you can activate the greatness that you have inside of you, please be honest with that energy.
You gotta let it out.
Please tell that energy what you want. Please tell that energy what you desire.
Don't control it. You gotta let it be free.
You have to. You have to interact with every emotion that you have in life. If you mad, have your time to be mad and let that anger express itself. But don't go too far. Don't go jumping off the edge. Talk about being mad. Be honest with yourself.
Yep.
The more you be honest with yourself about the emotions that you have and the emotions that you feel, trust me and believe me, the more you be allowed to control those emotions. Learn how to control your emotions and don't let your emotions control you.
Yeah.
When you figure that out, when you have peace, when you do it with love, when you do it with joy, when you do it with honesty, that's when you truly grow, and that's when trust takes place. That's when trust takes place.
What's the biggest thing is how can you trust other people if you can't even trust yourself?
You can't.
Nope.
You don't.
Stuck in the loop and you
I don't
always
believe.
on guard.
I don't personally believe. I'm not going to tell you what you can or cannot do. What I'm going to say is I don't personally believe an individual who doesn't truly love themselves, who isn't truly honest with themselves about what they feel, who they are, and what they want in life, not based off of what someone, man or woman, says, based off of what their energy says. If you're not honest with that, if you don't trust that, if you don't stand for that, you will not be able to give that to someone else. You will not be able to accept them for who they are. That's just my belief. Hey, what's going on, Hector? You out there doing some runs or you done for the day? This Hector, this my buddy Hector, stays by my place, and he's the one who's informed me or re-informed me how to be more productive doing Uber. You know what I'm saying? He was very honest with me, and I had to trust his judgment, and I took it, and it's been working for me. So thanks. What's going on, Hector? Yeah, man. This thing goes very deep. You can pick up the Bible. The pastor can read it to you. You can read it all day. You can have one of these Bibles like I have that has 4 different versions. King James, New International, American Standard Bible, New Living. He's got all these different translations right here. But if I'm not honest with what I feel, if I'm not honest about what I'm looking to get out of this Bible and I go into it, if I don't trust that something is going to change in my life, it doesn't matter how much I read this thing. I'm just calling words. Honesty and trust is the best thing for any relationship. Any relationship. Without honesty and trust, no relationship is successful. You here, you there, you everywhere, you feel like you all over the place. Get grounded. Get centered. Learn to love who you are. Learn to love what you have. Learn to be honest with where you want to go, what you feel like you deserve. Learn to be honest with yourself about what do you have to do. I don't understand, man. We expect someone else to take care of the life that was given to us. We trust or attempt to trust or fake trust somebody with our lives more than we trust ourselves with our life. How dare you not take advantage of this life that was given to you? How dare you not be honest with the man or the woman that lives inside of you, who knows all your hopes, who knows all your dreams, who knows all your fears? Hell, half of the time you create those fears. But how dare you not be real with that moment? How dare you not be honest with that moment? How dare you not trust that you can change any moment in your life? How dare you? I'm not for everybody, but I'm for somebody. How dare I allow fear to stop me? I'm not perfect. I'm not looking to be perfect. But I'm looking to trust that if I keep speaking, if I keep being a vessel for God, if I keep allowing him to use me, if I keep believing that the pain that I went through sometimes in my life is going to help to shape and mold somebody else's life. It's going to help to shape and project somebody else's life to a destination that they need to get to. If I continue to push through with honesty and trust that God is going to see me through, then I'm good. It don't have to matter to you. I'm not doing what I do to disrespect anybody. I'm not doing what I do to belittle anybody. I'm not doing what I do to try to tell you how to live your life or what I think is best for your life. I'm doing what I do because I'm passionate about sharing the gift that God has given me.
Activate your greatness.
I do what I do because I want people to understand that the power that was given to you lies in your hand, and no one can take that from you. You can only give it to them. I do what I do because people have done so many other things to you that you don't believe that you can do anything anymore. For some of us, you think you just a college degree. You think you just a 9-to-5 job. You think you just a mother. You think you just a father. I do what I do to tell you that you more than that. You what you say, you what you believe, you what you feel, you what you honest with. That's what you do. That's who you are. That's what I do. Everything that I do may not agree with you. Everything you do may not agree with somebody. But everything that you do, hopefully you learn how to do it for you. Hopefully you learn how to do it for you. Hopefully you learn how to be honest with you for you, because when you honest with you for you, trust me and believe me when I tell you, it'll make a better relationship for you and everyone that you involved with. Promote yourself, sell yourself, push yourself. I promote myself. I sell my stories. I push my stories out there because I want you to understand that no man is perfect. No man is an island. No man done it alone. I didn't get on this camera to be able to speak inspirational without causing some pain first, without going through some pain. But I promote the things that happened to me, not as a victim, but as a victor. This is not what I went through. This is what I grew through. This is why I share with you. It's something that you grew through in your life. It's something that you grew through in your life that helped you live the way you're living today. It's something that you overcame that you thought would be the death of you. It's something that you overcame that you had to trust you. It's something that you overcame. If you're being honest with yourself, you didn't know if you would overcome it or not. This is why I do what I do. Because sometimes we forget who we are. You forget who you are. You forget about you. You forget to love you. You forget to enjoy you. You forget to trust you. Be honest with you first. When you be honest with you first, then everybody benefits from you. Ooh, learning how to close my eyes when I really get into this thing. I'm like popping my mouth all on the microphone. That's not good. That's not that good at all. But
I got my eyes closed, sitting here messing with the beat machine, messing with this song.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of closing my eyes and going in and out of my zone and really not thinking about it. I'm just trusting that God is going to use me. I'm just trusting that he's going to speak through me. I'm just trusting that this message is going to help someone. I'm just believing. I'm just knowing that this message is going to bless someone. You need to know. You need to know. You're here. You have life for a reason, for a purpose. It's not to do what everyone else tells you to do. It's the small voice inside of you. Some of us call him God. Some of them call us Buddha. Some of them call him Allah. Somebody call him intellect, your conscience. It's a small voice inside of you that speaks to you and sometimes speaks through you. And he tells you exactly what you need to do. He tells you, it tells you, she tells you exactly what you need to do. And I know they telling you to be honest. I know they telling you to just trust me. I know it's telling you to just let me in. Because it's when you let it in is when you let all of you out. It's when you grow. It's when you move forward. When you face the things that you feared the most. When you face the things that you fear that you feel you failed at. That's how you truly get joy in life. I don't know if I would have had this type of joy in my life if I never would have became a good father. If I never would have went back to be a good husband. I don't know if I would have had this joy in my life if I never would have went back into the military to push myself to see if I could be a good soldier, to trust myself, to be honest with myself about why I quit, why I walked away. This trust and this honesty thing will change your life if you allow it to. It'll bless you if you let it. That's what Marcus D. Wiley said. He said it'll bless you if you let it. Hector Morales. Oh, that's Hector I talked to earlier. Babe, good thing nobody's, I ain't going to say good thing, but I don't have a lot of messages to look at today. But thank you for all the thumbs up and the hearts. My wife keeps me on top of things, of what's going on. Even all the way from home, she's supporting the mission and she's supporting the movement, man. We honest with each other about what we feel and where we going. What do you want out of life? What do you expect to have? If you don't trust yourself, if you're not honest with yourself, your life's not going to change. If I don't trust God, if you don't trust the God in you, your life's not going to change. It's going to come a point in time in your life where you're going to have to be honest with yourself about something that you fear, something that you're doing well at, something that you suck at. But you're going to have to face it, and you're going to have to trust that you can make it through. You're going to have to trust that the higher power that you believe in has your back. You're going to have to trust that. It's the only way you're making it to the next level. I trust that this message is going to help someone. It's going to bless someone. I trust that this message will be beneficial to someone. I honestly believe that, I honestly know that it's a word in here for someone. Maybe from you, maybe for me, but that God is truly using me to get through. So please share this video. I thank you for tuning in to another fun-filled Saturday of expression sessions where we talked a little bit about trust and a little bit about honesty. Some stories that I was able to share. Yeah. It's been an hour and 2 minutes and 39
I guess I'm having too much fun.
Hey,
man.
nah.
I was
1
having
hour,
too much fun.
59 minutes and 40 seconds. That's the time that it took Eliud Kipchoge to run a marathon that I was talking about last week. Trust and believe. Nobody believed he can do that. They said that was humanly impossible.
That's amazing.
Hey, man, to be honest with you, I've been working with that pack. I mean, it's been 2 weeks in a row, and it's actually starting to feel good. I don't know. I figured I can do it, and I just kept going after it, man. Hey, look, man. Life is what you make it. It's not what someone else gives you. The moment you stop blaming people and you start taking responsibility for your life, that's when your life changed, man. It's at no other point in time in life. I just have to be honest with myself, and I'm being honest with you. Nobody can give you the life that you say you want to live. You have to figure out how to live that life by trusting God, trusting Buddha, trusting Allah, trusting whatever spiritual deity you believe in, trusting love, trusting peace. I'm not here to tell you what or who you should praise or worship. What I'm telling you is something inside of you that's greater than you, or someone that's inside of you that's greater than you, that's looking for you to trust them and lead you to the direction in life that you say you want. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. Or as Steve Harvey says in another scripture, you have not because you ask not. So trust me. When you be honest with God about who you are, when you be honest with yourself about who you are, about what you feel and about where you want to go, and you trust the process and you work through the process no matter what, trust and believe your life will change to the life you want it to be when you AYG, activate your greatness. When you JBY and you just be you. When you PSP and you promote, sell, push yourself, and when you continue to show up, the blow up will come. It has been another wonderful, soulful Saturday on Expression Sessions. I thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, share this video with somebody. I'm out. But I'm not one-dimensional. You can't let nobody box you in to be one-dimensional. wrong with that? I wasn't given life for this. They can't tell me this it for me for this. I'm not one-dimensional. I believe in God. They said I was created in His image. I don't believe in everything in the Bible and everything that they put in religion, but I believe there's a higher power. And
When you need some inspiration,
Power.
He's your God. He's your God.
Power.
Mr. P.